NBA Western Conference Finals Game 3 last night, and all I'm going to say is what a game. Oh my God. But you know what, though? Even though the Mavs are up 3-0 over the Timberwolves, something tells me this series is not quite over because we have not seen the best version of Cat. Anthony Edwards is just getting ramped up. I just felt like the Timberwolves can win a game or two.
Or two. Oh my
Yeah.
God. The Mavs are not going to allow 2 games. They may concede one, but two is a stretch. I do agree with you that Anthony Edwards and Kat have not had their breakout game this series. I agree with that. And until they do that, the chances of them making it to game 6 is slim to none. So game 4 has to be the game. There is no other game but game 4 for Anthony Edwards and Kat to have their breakout game. If it don't happen in game 4, then guess where we going? Fishing.
They going fishing. Okay,
They going
now,
fishing.
speaking of Carl Anthony Towns, I'm starting to think he is resorting to some very dangerous measures. I mean, first of all, he kicked my guy Derek Lively the second in the groin. And then on the next play, next thing I know, he's kicking him in the back of the head. Now, both may have been unintentional, but it was just a bad look for a guy who's not playing well in the series and for Derek Lively, who's getting all the boards, all the aggression. It just felt like maybe they was trying to take him out, the young rookie, right? They're going to sacrifice Derek Lively. I don't know. It just seemed a little odd because Cat cannot get going. And I'm just wondering if he's trying to take out my guy Lively.
I don't know about the one the hit to the head with his knee appeared to be really accidental. I think Lively is just super tall and he was having to fall when Cat was going up. So I don't know about that one. But at the end of the day, if Lively is not playing, then you got Gafford to deal with. At the end of the day, you're not going to shut down whatever that paint control is for the Dallas Mavs. You're just not about to do it. Because if you think Rudy Gobert is going to be the one to do it for the Timberwolves, then did you see him on skates? What I'm saying is, if you take out one, hopefully, and I hope he will be okay and can suit up and be ready to play for game 4, Lively. But you still got Gafford, so
Yes, and
what?
Gafford was my player of the game, even though he had 5 points, but he had 3 big blocks. He was my player of the game. I said, oh, he's playing with so much emotion and passion, and I just love to see that. Just, you know what? I would be so happy for him, a player who was just hidden in DC with the Wizards for so
Mm-hmm.
many seasons. PJ
Mm-hmm.
Washington, what?
Let me
What?
tell you something.
Coming from the Hornets, never had a chance to win anything, you know?
You know, I will say this because I wasn't sold on the Dallas Mavericks at the top of the season, especially when they traded for Kyrie. I wasn't sold on it. But seeing it play out now in the postseason is really a joy to watch. And I will say this um, Dallas Mavericks scouting team did a phenomenal job seeking out players who were not focal points on the other teams that they were on to have them come to this organization with this scheme to be so successful. They did a great job at scouting. I will say this too. It's PJ Washington from the left corner 3-pointer for me. How many times must he hit that in the fourth quarter up against the Timberwolves? Matter of fact, he did
Yeah.
it in the previous series. Do you not know that is his spot? Fourth quarter, he's going to always hit the dagger. If you down, if the score's tied, or if you're down by 3, they're going to find PJ Washington. He's going to be standing over there in the left corner for the 3-point line, and he's going to hit the dagger. He's done it for the past 2 games. Timberwolves, you gonna still let him do it? And then, as a matter of fact, the top of the game in quarter 1, he hit it from the right. Y'all, that's his spot. You gonna keep letting him get there? I'm done. Every time he do
I
it, I'm
know.
like, there it is. I said in the last podcast when we talked about game 2, I said PJ Washington from the left corner is going to hit it, and guess what he did in game 3? Same spot. I said I can't. That's the one because when he hits that one in the fourth quarter, then Kyrie and Luka Doncic they just clean it on up and they win the game. Like, when are y'all gonna figure that out? I'm gonna need that
Yeah.
not to happen in game 4. It just can't happen. Wolves,
Oh,
get it together.
wait. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, he said he was going to be more aggressive and he was going to shoot everything. And he pretty much did, right? 24 field goal attempts for 26 points. But I was a little worried about his comments because I'm like, well, yes, we need you to be more aggressive, but you have to function within the confines of the offense for the Timberwolves, right? And it still looked like to me he ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. I just don't know what's going on. Has he hit a brick wall? Like, seriously.
Oh my gosh. He hit the playoff wall. Is there such thing as that? I think he hit the playoff wall and he did it at a time that's not helpful. You can't do it in you can't do it at the conference finals. No, that you can't hit the ball until you win. I'm like, what? Oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh. No, this game, this whole series is taking a toll of him. I can tell he does not look he don't look like the same Anthony Edwards in as he did in the previous series against the Nuggets. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. But you know what? This is
Mm-hmm.
that experience, right? That's why you have to go through it. You don't know. He'll know that his conditioning needs to be a little bit different come the off season to get him ready for his next deep playoff run. Deep playoff runs apparently are not easy. Clearly.
Yes,
Clearly.
yes. You can ask Rudy Gobert. He got caught on the
Mm-mm.
island again. This
Oh my
time,
God.
Jaden Hardy put him on skates. I said, oh my goodness. Rudy, but then did you see he had nerve to clap his hands like, come on, come on. And Jaden Harvey went to work on him. I mean, unbelievable. Poor Rudy. And I don't know. It's funny though. They tried, Jaden McDaniels tried to cover up for some of Rudy Gobert's defensive limitations, but it still wasn't enough, even against Luka Doncic out on the island again. I said, man, there's nothing that the Timberwolves can do with Luka Doncic. There's nothing. I don't care what they do, what type of defense, double team, one on one. It doesn't matter. Luka is gonna get to his spot and he gonna hit the shot, and that's just it.
The only person that slowed down Luka Doncic, not stopped him, but slowed him down was Lou Dort in the Oklahoma City Thunder series. Now he did have Luka fumble a little bit. He was like on Luka. In this Timberwolf series, Luka is having his way. I don't care about your hand. It's almost like when he's gonna shoot the ball anyway. But once you can put your hand in his face, you can try to in the Timberwolf series. They can put their hand in his face. They can do whatever they want to do, and for some reason, it's almost like he doesn't even see them there. He doesn't see
Mm-hmm.
them. I don't. I don't know what it is. All he sees is basket because the ball is going in. You cannot. There is no answer that the Timberwolves have for Luka or Kyrie Irving. Let's just say that. That's what it is. And another thing I like. That's why I hope Lively comes back in Game 4. I love the Luka Lively connection, right? I mean, it was a back-to-back time. It was back-to-back in Game 3 where Luka lobbed it over to Lively, and he sent it on home. He did it again in the next play, offensive play. I said, look at that. Lively is gonna get that lob every time, and Luka's gonna be the one to serve it to him. I'm just like, you can't. What are they gonna do with that? Because either he gonna go up to shoot or he gonna go up to lob it to Lively. Either way, it's gonna go in the basket. They don't have an answer for him. They don't
They
have an answer.
don't. And if it's not
Mm-mm.
Lively, then it's going to be Daniel Gafford or Derek
Exactly.
Jones Jr. I mean, there's no answer for that. It's funny because the Timberwolves have all of those bigs, right? They got Kyle Anderson, Nas Reed, Carl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. You would think they would be able to stop that, but when the defense collapses and the big body moves over to guard whoever is penetrating the paint, it
Mm-hmm.
leaves it leaves Lively, it leaves Gafford open, and that's what we're seeing. And it is so comical because Gobert, you know what? This was probably the worst year for Rudy Gobert to win Defensive Player of the Year because he is getting exposed on another level.
Yeah, I will have to say he has won his last Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I think that, and it almost makes me think that his Defensive Player of the Year award, especially for this season, was based off of stats, not off of eye tests. If that makes sense. right? So I know what his stat line looks like, and it looks like, oh my gosh, he's really doing it. But from the eye test, especially deep in the playoffs, it's like, no, nah, he ain't the one.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
didn't.
why I always lead to, we got all these people voting. Are they watching the games? Are they looking at the stats? I'm need for them to
That
do
and
both.
nostalgia. Yeah, nostalgia, right? There's
And
a like, oh yeah,
nostalgia.
it's probably, wow, look at, at his size though. If he wasn't 7'3", there's no way he would even be in the conversation for defensive player of the year. Right?
Yeah. I don't. It's just the weirdest thing, but he is. It's not. This should not be the last. He can't go out his defensive player of the year, third time winning off of this. This is the last memory because it's always about recency bias. We're gonna remember this series. Ooh,
Oh, I
oh my
know. It's
god, that's
horrible.
rough. That's rough. Well, he gonna get his money, and his money gonna be deposited in his check. I guess at the end of the day, he'll be fine. But this right here, super exposure. The players are gonna eat him up next season. It's just
Mm,
gonna be a mess. He,
okay. All right. So post game, I saw Draymond Green give Daniel Gafford some defensive advice, right? And I'm like, I felt indifferent about it because I'm like, well, that's nice of him to do, but at the same time, Draymond Green is still an active player in this league. Why are you giving
oh,
him defensive advice? Because you are going to have to face them when you play for the Golden State Warriors next season. So I was just like, huh? What you doing, Draymond? Why you giving him the tidbits? Why you doing
yeah,
that?
I know, right? I don't know. I'm still on the fence about active players being in these roles as sports analysts, if you will, in a sense. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. So I understand your indifference about it because I have the same one. Should you be doing that? Why would you do it anyway? Why would you?
Yeah, yeah,
And not
exactly.
keep that information for yourself so you can be successful next season. I guess paying it forward. I guess it's weird.
Mm, I don't know. I was like, okay, Draymond. So if you guys haven't seen that little clip, you probably should because it's everywhere on Twitter now. And I'm just like, know about that one, Draymond. But anyway, so the Dallas Mavericks got the victory 116 to 107 in Dallas, right? I guess they were supposed
Mhm.
to win that game, but it's unfortunate for the Timberwolves who are down 0-3. But like I said, I think there's one or two more games left in this series. And part of that is because I'm just not ready for it to end.
Oh, okay, got it. If one game is won by the Timberwolves, that will be the last one. If it happens, I don't think it's going to happen. I do believe that the Dallas Mavericks will be sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 4. I really believe this is it. It's
uh,
sad, saddens me, of course, because I didn't want Anthony Edwards to go out with a sweep. I didn't want that. I wish the out would have been a 7-game complete series. That's a better out than a sweep, I think, especially in the conference final. But here we
yes.
are. Here we are.
Hmm.
Here we are. Lesson learned. It's not over till it's over.
Ooh,
Your
wait.
your
Okay.
second your second round win was not the championship. Mm-mm,
I guess for
mm-mm.
him it was. All right, so check it out though. So they're going to crown the Western Conference MVP. Let's say they do it after game 4. Who wins
Ooh.
that? I mean, it's a
Luke,
toss up.
Luca, what are you talking about? Luca's going
Really?
to get it. Absolutely. Come on. They
Mm,
already have his name on the plaque. He's going to win it regardless. Yes. Who do you think it
mm.
should do it? You think it's
Oh
Kyrie?
no, it's a toss up. Yeah.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
going to be Luca. It doesn't matter. There is no toss up. It's going to be Luca. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm
All right.
telling you when he won it. I'm going to tell you when he sealed the deal. I'm going to go back to game 2 when he hit that 3-point dagger to close out the game. That was
Hmm.
when he became Finals MVP. That shot right there. That was the one. Shot was too poetic. It actually, for me, and I said in the previous podcast when we talked about the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks in Game 2 recap, that was when Luka faded the series to black. That was it. He put a bow on the series in that play right there. And watch, he's going to be crowned Finals MVP. It'll be well deserved. So
Western Conference Finals MVP because We
He
don't
will
really
be.
know.
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. He will be crowned Western Conference Finals MVP for 2024. Yes, thank you. Not finals. I don't know what that's going to look like because when they go against Boston, I don't know what to expect until I see the games. But yes, Western Conference Finals MVP.
All right. Okay. Okay. So who's playing tonight? What's going on?
You know, I was so hopeful for this Indiana Pacers and Boston Celtics series. I'm not going to even play because we had said prior to the series beginning that we would want to see a healthy Indiana Pacers play against Boston as opposed to a depleted New York Knicks team playing against Boston.
Yes.
Now I kind of wish it was a New York Knicks depleted team. It may have been a little bit more exciting for me. I don't know. Now I kind of like maybe I spoke too soon, but I would rather see a hobbled Jalen Brunson give Boston the business so they can be tested and they can be, put through the fire because this Indiana series is it's lackluster for me. It's not giving me the punch I wanted, if I'm gonna be honest.
Well, there is always hope, right? Because we don't know if Tyrese
Here we
Halliburton is
go.
going to play. We don't know. And the thing is, come on, the Pacers should really be up 2-1. So they can hang with the Boston Celtics. It's just they have problems closing out.
Isn't the closeout the most important thing though?
Oh,
So
yeah, it is.
hanging is one thing, closing out is sealing the deal, and they're unable to do that. You think they're gonna be able to do it in game 4? I like to see it happen.
I know, right? Shout out to one of our faithful listeners, Easy Riding with Uncle Doc. What's up? He has coined this series between Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics, the Go Home series, and that's exactly
I
what
love
it's
it.
looking like.
That's exactly what it is. When I read that comment, I said, nailed it. Exactly. And now let's get this going on. Let's just move on. I'm ready to move on now. So, but you know what? If the Indiana Pacers can bring, and then so trying to pull content out of the series has been like getting your teeth pulled. I ain't going to hold you. So yeah, I agree that it's really time from. Can I reclaim my time? I don't know if I can sit through another game. I'm gonna be honest. Will I do it? Yes. Should I have to? No. Boston, close it out so we can move on. So y'all can get ready to we'll talk about that, but the finals? I don't know. I don't know, Boston. This little cakewalk y'all been going through. I don't know.
But they have to play who's in front of them. I mean, it's not their fault. They're still playing without their third best player. It's not their fault they ran up against a depleted Miami Heat team, the New York Knicks team, or whatever. Who else did they play? Oh, the Cavs. They didn't play the Knicks. But they would have played the depleted Knicks. It's not their fault, right?
It's not their fault. It's not their fault. You're absolutely correct. It really isn't their fault. And you know what though? And they should be capitalizing. It would be to their if they didn't capitalize on the smooth road they've been able to ride through this postseason. Why wouldn't they? And why shouldn't they celebrate the victories that come with that? So hey, all playoff teams wish they had it easy. Yeah. I bet you the Miami Heat wish they did. I bet you the OKC Thunder wish they did too. So it is what it is. It is what it is, and they should be able to ride it out. Boston, number 1 team in the league, should be looking like this at this time of the postseason. So it is what it is.